There we go. I think we're off and running now. Okay, so welcome everybody to tonight's webinar. I know there's a couple of newish people on. Just want to say welcome to Maria, who I know is very new in the business. And if you're new as well, then I hope you find this very useful. I'm going to be talking tonight about your first 4 weeks. So if you are quite new in the business, that's good. And if you're not new in the business, then hopefully it's a good refresher that can remind you of things that you should be doing if you're not doing yet. And this is one of a series of 8 webinars that I run. Now, I did want to explain very briefly, those of you who have been coming to these webinars for a few times now will notice that the last couple of weeks I've used a different software for running the webinars. The reason for that was the software that we're using today and that I've used in the past a lot. I often got people complaining, saying, oh, the quality of the audio wasn't very good, it would cut out a lot. And I tried a different piece of software called Zoom, which seemed to have much better quality audio. The problem with that was it's not really designed for webinars, and you couldn't have a webinar that was longer than half an hour. And by the time we kind of have our 5 or 10 minutes chat just to allow everybody to log on, it just meant I was really having to rush through the webinars really quickly, and I just kind of felt I wasn't doing it justice. So I do apologise if the audio is not brilliant. I'll kind of hopefully it's good enough for you to hear what I'm saying. But all of these webinars are recorded. So at the end of this, for those of you who are not sure where those recordings are, I'll explain where they are. So if there's anything on tonight that you want to go over, then you can watch it again. Or if there's any of the webinars that we haven't done yet or you haven't watched yet, you can go back and watch the recording. So as you can see there's 8 in the series. I try to do one every week, every Wednesday night. Maybe there's the odd week that I can't make if I've got a meeting or something. So probably about 9 weeks to do the whole lot. And the first 3, so last week's was about getting started. Tonight and next week's is really the retail side of the business, about getting started, building your customer base, and a couple of other things. Then 4 and 5 are more to do with really building your income up to be much bigger than just you can with just the retail. By doing a little bit of team building, sharing this opportunity with people, and it's so easy these days to do that. And with the support of your sponsor, you can help new people get started really, really quickly, and that can really increase your income really quickly as well. So it's really important. Don't think you have to wait until you kind of know everything there is about the business before you can become a team leader. There are people who introduce other people to the business within a day or so of them joining, and that's absolutely fine because you'll get loads of support from your sponsor to help you with that. Then the webinars 6, 7 and 8 are more to do with the, suppose you'd call them the intangible skills. It's not the skills about how to deliver a catalogue, how to place an order, how to post something on Facebook. It's the kind of the personal development side of it, dealing with the fact that it's a business and sometimes it's a bit of a roller coaster. And if you get upset every time you kind of have a bit of a quiet day, or you have somebody, customer, who changes their mind, or a team member who leaves, then you could be missing out on a massive business if that kind of thing upsets you. So dealing with emotions and understanding the value in kind of persevering with your business, that's all the kind of areas that we cover in 6, 7 and 8. So anyway, on to tonight. What I'm going to be talking about are the importance of goal setting. I think this is probably the most important skill to help you get off to a fast start. It's setting and achieving first goals. I'm going to talk a little bit about a checklist, just some things that you should try and tick off to make sure you've done during your first 4 weeks. I'm just going to introduce you to a little bit to residual income. If at the moment you're thinking, oh, I'm not really sure that I want to get into that team building side of the business, what's the point anyway? You just have to look after staff and things like that. Then just hold that thought for the moment and bear with me, because I want to introduce to you some reasons why you might want to change that. And if you do then decide, actually maybe I could have a look at it, I want to show you how to make a quick start even before you know what you're doing. So what I hope is that you didn't join Kleeneze because you've got a passion to put catalogues out. Occasionally some people do, but I'm guessing you joined Kleeneze because you're looking to change something in your life. You've got some goals, something in your life that you'd like to improve on. It might just be a bit of extra money so you can pay the bills, and it might be something a bit bigger than that. But what's really important at the beginning is to sit down with your sponsor and start setting goals for yourself. Because if you're working in a job and you've got an employer or a boss just telling you, right, you need to be in by 9 o'clock, you can go home at 5 o'clock, this is what you have to do during the day, then your kind of goals are set by somebody else for what they want to achieve. They're not really your goals. But in this business, you can set your own goals to achieve what's important to you. And I think that's really, really important that you sit down with your sponsor and with your family and set those goals. And what I suggest you do is think about your goals in 3 levels, kind of short-term goals. These are things that you can achieve in your first 2 or 3 months. Then medium-term goals, what would you like to be doing or what would you like to have achieved within kind of 6 to 9 months? And then longer-term goals, which are, if you like, beyond your first year, what would you like to do? And it's important that your goals are emotional and visual and important to you and your family. And because if you're sacrificing some time that you might have spent with your family in the evenings because you're working on Facebook or you're delivering your catalogues or you're calling up team members, it's really important that your family know why you're doing that. If you're saving up for a holiday, I was speaking to Maria earlier today, and she's got a really exciting goal for her and her son. And so if you're saving up for a holiday or something and you're sharing that with the family, it's really exciting as you get closer and closer to it. So when you're setting your goals, you need to just think about within the business, what are you going to focus on to achieve those goals? And what I mean by that is there are 2 parts to Kleeneze really. There's the retail side, which is basically Facebook or online selling and catalogues. And there's the team building side. Now, if your goal is to earn some money very quickly, if you're kind of worried, if you just lost a job and you're worried about rent or you're worried about paying your bills, and it's quite urgent, kind of 1, 2, 3 months you need to build it up quickly, then your retail is the best thing to do. Really focus on get those catalogues in and out as much as you can, get that stuff on Facebook as much as you can. Really learn as much as you can about that side of the business because that will give you the income quickly. But if you're looking to build up a bigger income and you're wanting to get to the point where you're not having to work really hard, you want to build up what's called a residual income, then it's the team building that will help you do that. So I'd like to ask you a quick question for everybody. Natalie, I've just seen there that you've commented there your sound is poor. Hopefully it'll improve a little bit. I'm recording this, so if it doesn't improve, then hopefully you can catch up on it with the recording. I want to ask everybody a quick question. Can you remember when you first joined Kleeneze, and that might be in the last week or 2, or it might have been some years ago, what are your first goals? What are you wanting to achieve? What was it that made you think, yes, I'd like to try and earn some extra money with Kleeneze? Is there anybody would like to share anything with me, or with the rest of us? It'll help paying the bills. That's great, Natalie. Good. Helping to pay for a holiday with Mia. That's fantastic, Emma. Good one. I always like. I mean, paying the bills is really, really important. But if you've got something that you're really excited about, so that when you achieve it, you'll be really pleased as well. I mean, it's never nice if you're worried about paying the bills, but if you can if you've got something exciting like a holiday or something, then that's fantastic. Yeah. So Dee, you said you'd like to be able to work from home. That's fine. But what would you do with the money if the money starts coming in from your working from home? Mark is obviously wanting to get out of bankruptcy, so that'd be nice to have a great start and get yourself financially. What's the word I'm looking for? Solvent's not the right word really, but get yourself kind of back on your feet again, I guess. Yeah, Emma, being your own boss, that's really exciting. What I'm looking for are things that, if you like, what would you do with the money that you would earn once you are, being your own boss allows you to work really hard if you want to, but it's what you do with the money that's the exciting bit. So, whether that's a holiday or buying a new house or a new car or, freedom with the child. Yeah, I mean, actually that's really important, Dee, that kind of the freedom to be able to choose when you work and when you don't, and when you spend time, quality time with your family is really, really important to a lot of people. Brilliant, Andy. Yeah, just a little more income. A lot of people join just for a little bit more, and that could just be to help pay the bills or to save up for something. But it's really important. Yeah, that's a good one, Emma. Yeah, I like that. It's really important that you have a goal that excites you, because this is a bit of a roller coaster. So you do need to be have something that makes you think, oh, I know I've had a quiet day today, but tomorrow's going to be much better, and I'm so excited. We're so close to that holiday in Disneyland or whatever it might be. So having exciting goals are great. And it is important that you're patient with this business and give it time. It's not a job where you turn up for work and after an hour you've earned an hour's pay. You need to do your research, find out where your customers are, build your Facebook shop. But if you take actions consistently and prove to your customers that you're reliable, then your persistence will pay off big time. So the next question that you need to ask is, if I've got a goal and it really excites me, then how much time am I going to commit to this? Because once you know your goal, there's a couple of things that you need to do. It's all very well having a goal, which might be a fantastic holiday or being able to pay off your debts or whatever. But you kind of need to work out, what are the activities that I need to do to achieve that? Now that's something that you can do with your sponsor. Your sponsor will know, if you need to earn £1,000 a month, then you need to do this. If you're just looking to earn £50 a week, then you can do that. So speak to your sponsor and plan the activities that you need to do, how many catalogues out a week, how many posts on Facebook, how many leads to generate for your team building. You need to plan those activities and then work out with your sponsor again, how much time would it take me to deliver 250 catalogues a week, 500 catalogues a week? Because you have to put time into this business. And one thing is really, really important to understand is that tomorrow has got the same 24 hours as yesterday. So if you start saying, oh, you know what, I'm not sure I'm going to have time for this, then the trouble is you're never going to get out of that situation. You have to make time. You have to sacrifice something in order to be able to put time into your business. So that's my next question to you. Once you've got an exciting goal, it has to be exciting enough so that you can give up some things, whether that's giving up TV, giving up kind of having coffee with friends, giving up going down the pub every night, whatever it is that you've got, you need to clear some space from your day and your week in order to put into this business to achieve your goals. And that's why your goals have got to be exciting. If you want to be sacrificing things, you want it to be for an exciting goal. So, that's all very well, setting these goals, having nice ideas, but what do you actually do to achieve those goals? So, the important thing to think about is to focus on the actions rather than the results. And what I mean by that is your goals. So whatever that goal is, if you've written down a goal, I'd love to be able to go to Disneyland Paris by October, so that's whenever that is, 6 months away or 5 months, something like that. How much would that cost me? Let's suppose that's £1,000. You want to earn £200 a month, let's say. So the goal to get to Disneyland Paris will be achieved by your results. And the results, which let's say that could be, I want to earn £200 a month, those results will come from your actions. So, as I said there, an example could be £1,000 holiday in 6 months' time. Maybe if in order to earn £1,000 from your business, you need to put in about £5,000 worth of orders over the 6 months. And that sounds quite a lot, but actually if you break that down a little bit, that's £800 in orders per month. So that's about £200 a week worth of orders. So in order to earn £800 in orders per month, if you put out 800 catalogues per month, you're not going to be far off that. We say around about £1 per catalogue on average. When you first start off, you'll be below average, but as you find more and more customers, you'll soon get to £1 a catalogue, £2 a catalogue, £5 a catalogue. So put out your 800 catalogues a month. It won't take you long before you're getting up to that £800 in orders a month. Because if you think about it, 800 catalogues a month, that might sound quite a lot, but it's actually just 200 catalogues a week. It's maybe 100 catalogues on a Monday, 100 catalogues on a Thursday. When you start to break it down into your daily activities, it suddenly becomes a lot more manageable. And it's a lot easier for you to think about, well, you know what, I could do that. I could put 100 catalogues out on a Monday, pick them up on the Wednesday, put them back out on the Thursday to pick up on a Friday. I'm sure I could do that. And that allows you to focus on what you can control. Because you can't control how many orders you get, how much you earn. But what you can control is how many catalogues you put out. And that there is an absolute guarantee that the more catalogues you put out, the more orders you get and the more you learn. And I'm talking about catalogues just as an example, but it's exactly the same with Facebook. The more posts, the more groups you're in, the more products you put in your own group, the more posts you put in the other groups, the more interest you'll get and the more orders you'll get. So, a really good idea, when you've sat down with your sponsor and worked out, in order to get that £5,000 worth of orders, I need to take these actions, and what's the time that I've got to do that, it's a great idea to do a little weekly planner. So that could be something just like this, break it down into the days of the week across the top, and then down the side, morning, afternoon, evening. I mean, if you want to have an even better one, you can break it down by hour, so you can see, once I've dropped the kiddies off at school at 9 o'clock, I've then got 3 hours before 12, and so on, whatever works for you. So create a weekly planner, and then in that, start to put in what activities you're going to do. Excuse me. So in this example, again, this is just based on catalogues, but you'll get the idea. You can do the same if you're just doing Facebook or a bit of a mix and match. So in this example, what I've said is on Monday, I'm going to pick up number 1, which is like the catalogues that I dropped off the previous week. So I'm going to pick up some catalogues on the Monday. I'm going to have a second lot of catalogues that I'm going to pick up on the Tuesday. And then I might have a few stragglers that I didn't pick up on the Monday, so I'll do that on the Tuesday. Then on the Wednesday, I'll have a few more stragglers, and then after I've picked up all of my catalogues, I'm going to put my order in. Make sure I put it in by 3 o'clock on the Wednesday, because that means I'll get that delivered to me on the Friday. And then Wednesday evening, I'm going to get my catalogues ready again to go out, because what I'm doing is putting my catalogues out on the Thursday morning, put another lot out on the Friday morning, ready to pick up on the Monday and the Tuesday. So you can kind of see my routine there. I'm starting to get this routine where I put some catalogues out on a Thursday, another lot of catalogues out on the Friday, pick up on the Monday and the Tuesday, put my order in on the Wednesday. Because the order comes to me on the Friday, that then gives me Friday afternoon and the weekend to deliver the orders to my customers. So you can build up a nice little weekly routine for yourself, and you might find that this takes maybe 3, 6, 9, 12, 15 hours a week to do this. Maybe a bit more in the evenings, but you can put as much or as little into this as you want. I would say you need to be able to put at least 10 to 12 hours a week into it to get your income growing quickly. And if you're not doing that, then you need to look at finding something else that you can sacrifice to make that time. So a quick question for everybody. Do people have, those of you who are doing it, have been doing it for a while, then I'm guessing you already have a regular routine. For those of you who have just joined, maybe in the last week or two, you probably haven't worked out a routine for yourself yet. But do you have, the people who have joined, say, within the last month to 6 weeks, do you feel like you're starting to get into a routine now? Anybody got any thoughts on that? Anybody finding it an easy thing to do, or struggling because it's difficult for them to get a routine if you've got family and other commitments? Okay, Andy. Yeah, I think it's, at the beginning, for a lot of people, it's quite a challenge creating your own routine, because normally you just got a job and you're told, right, you need to turn up there and turn up there and stop here and start here and go home then. So your routine is told to you by your boss. So when you're doing it yourself, you do need to be quite disciplined. That's why it is a good idea to kind of block out the time in your diary that you're going to commit to the business. Because if you can do that, yeah, thanks, Dee. When I heard that you used to be a postie, then I thought you'd probably find, it's kind of a good way for you to get into a routine. So what I would suggest to you, if you haven't done this yet, just sit down with a pen and paper and try and block out chunks of time, an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours here and there that you can commit to the business, because you'll see that will make a big difference. And that's a bit odd, Natalie. They should come within 2 days. The only exception to that is over a weekend. If you put an order in on a Monday before 3 o'clock, it should come on a Wednesday. Obviously, Tuesday before 3 o'clock, it should come to you on a Thursday. But if you put it in on a Thursday or a Friday, they don't deliver over the weekend, so it could be 3 days. Okay, a bunch of things for you to try to achieve during your first 4 weeks. A great thing to do is just to get immersed in your new business. And what I mean by that is the 21-day rule. Try to do something every day. And that could be posting on Facebook, it could be getting your catalogues out, it could be doing a webinar like this. If you do something every day, it starts to become a habit. And that way, you kind of do it without having to think about it, if that makes sense. Make sure you've got your weekly planner. It's a great idea to do that, having a little plan, as I say, block out the time and stick to it. When you were at school, you used to have your school timetable, so you knew where to be at what time. And that was really, really important, because if you didn't turn up, you didn't get the work done. It's exactly the same in this business. Okay, another thing that's really important to do in your first few weeks is make a list of everyone you know. Now, I'm going to come back to that in a moment. It's so easy to do that these days, because all you need to do is look at your contacts in your mobile phone. That's a big list. And look at your friends on Facebook. If you write down those two lists, and obviously there'll be some overlaps, that would be a fantastic list to get you started with. And then the other thing to do is to create your retail story. Now, this is really, really important. When you first start off, you might earn, put the work in, you might get yourself an extra, 150, 200, 250 pounds a month in your first full month. And you'll get a check, a copy of a check that shows you how much you earn by combining your commission and your bonuses. Now, in a 3, 4, 5 years time, you might be earning 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 pounds a month. And you might be talking to people about the business and saying to them, oh, this is fantastic, this is how much you can earn. And they'll say to you, yeah, that's how much you're earning now, but how much did you earn when you first started? And if you can show them your first check for £250, that's a really powerful story, because for a lot of people, an extra £200, £250 a month would make a massive difference to them. So that's what's important to them. It's not the 3,000, 4,000 that you're earning now, which is obviously that is important, but they're thinking, yeah, okay, it'll take me a while to get up to that point. How much can I earn in my first month? So your retail story, your first month in the business, is really, really important. So really put the effort in. I would say work harder in your first 30 days than you were intending to, because that will really stand you in good stead going forward. So make sure you tell everybody about your new business, your friends, your family, speaking to neighbours, presenting the catalogues. Do whatever you need to do to get as many orders as you can at the beginning, because that's a really important first story. And then another great thing to do during your first few weeks is to start thinking about the personal development. I talked a bit at the beginning about the webinars in 6, 7 and 8, which were about this side of the business. And I would say the first book to get is, it's called The 45-Second Presentation by a chap called Don Failer. It's a really easy book to read. It's kind of only about 80, 90 pages, big words, lots of pictures, so you can kind of read it in one sitting. And it just gives you a really good introduction to network marketing, this idea of building a business by sharing it with other people. You should try to get to as many meetings as you can possibly manage, and that can be little team meetings, a cup of coffee with a friend, over your sponsor. It could be an open evening. It could be one of the workshops. It could be a training. It could be the big showcases like we went to Birmingham. If you can get to 2, 3 or 4 of those during your first month, it will absolutely open your mind to this amazing opportunity. And believe me, the next few years, this is just going to absolutely explode. Michael Katkar was telling us that this business is going to go international in 2016. And I'm just so excited about that. I can't believe how big some of our incomes are going to grow. And the final point on the checklist is make sure you speak to your sponsor every day. Even if it's just a little text message saying, "Oh, I'm really excited this is happening," or whatever it might be. Every day, make sure you see them at least once a week. Build that rapport with your sponsor, because your sponsor is the most important person in the business for your business, apart from you yourself. Okay, so I just wanted to explain a little bit about residual income. Now, if you're not quite sure what I'm talking about there, residual income is income that you are paid over and over again long after the work that you did to earn it has finished. So as an example, best-selling authors typically get residual income. If you can imagine J.K. Rowling, she wrote the Harry Potter books. If she didn't want to, she wouldn't have to work another day in her life, and she gets paid every time anybody watches the film, anybody buys a DVD, anybody buys one of the books. So that's a residual income. It's the same with songwriters. Paul McCartney wrote all these songs. Every time they get played on the radio, he makes an extra whatever it is from it. So if you think you've got a best-selling novel or a #1 pop hit in your soul, then start writing, because that's a great way to get residual income. But you don't have to be able to do that, because we've got some ways that you can do it as well. So I just want to share a couple of ways that you can earn residual income, because you might think, yeah, pop stars, best-selling authors, that's all well and good, but it's not really for me. But actually, you probably don't realize it, but you can earn residual income really easily. If you've got any savings, I know a lot of people don't, but if you do, then if you've got savings in a savings account, then you'll be getting interest on that. Now at the moment, interest rates are not high. You might only get 2.5%, but if you've got 1,000 or 10,000 or 100,000 in the bank, every month you'll be getting a bit of interest. So just as a rough idea, if you had £100,000 in the bank at 2.5% interest, that would be worth about £208 a month to you. So that's okay. It's not brilliant. You might not be able to live that life of luxury that you wanted, but that's £208 before you even get out of bed. So that's worth having. Another way of doing that, though, is if you have a team of people who are in your business, and if you get to the 10% bonus level, and what I was talking about earlier, putting those catalogues out every week so that you're placing orders of about £200 a week, then that's hitting the 10% level. And if you have some team members who join your team because you share the opportunity with them, and they do the same, then you can start to earn residual income. And just to give you a rough idea, there's a little table there. If you've got one team member, the extra bonus that you would get as a result of that would be around about £30 a month. Not loads, I agree. But as you get more and more people in your team, the bigger your bonuses become. And just to give you a rough idea, if you've got 5 people in your team, all hitting the 10% level, same as you, then you're earning £240 bonus a month due to the work that they are doing. Not the work that you're doing, the work that they're doing. So you did the work to recruit them, to help them get started, but you're now earning what we call a residual income because of the work they're doing. So have a think to yourself, which is most likely? Just for you to earn an extra £200 a month without having to get up in the morning, do you think in the next, say, 12 months you could save up £100,000? Or do you think it's more likely that you could find 5 people who could do what you do? Hopefully, if you agree with me, I think the chances of me finding 5 people that would be interested in earning a bit of extra money are a lot more than me saving up 100 grand. So, how can we start thinking about that? How can we get off to a quick start to find people who might be interested in earning some extra money? So, a great way to do it is to use what we call your warm list. So as I was saying earlier, you could just make a list of 10 people, and this could be people contacting your mobile phone, or it could be friends on Facebook. And what you can do is just either call them or send them a text or a Facebook message using what we call the third-party approach. And the third-party approach is basically you just say to them, and again, speak to your sponsor for the details of this, You don't say, "Oh, Jimmy, you're always skint. You could do with a bit of extra money. Come and join my business." What you say to them is, "Johnny, I'm really excited about this. I've just started this new business, going really, really well. Who do you know would be interested in earning some extra money working from home online?" Or something like that. Really, really simple. You're not saying to them, "Do you want to join?" You're saying, "Do you know anyone who might be interested?" And 9 times out of 10, people will say, "Oh, what's all this then? What's involved? I might be interested in that." Or, my wife kind of could do something like this. Or my sister's just lost her job. Or my brother-in-law's just had his hours cut. Or it could be anything. So then they might be curious and ask for a bit of information. And you can just send them the videos or a little information pack. Speak to your sponsor for the details. But you could just send them the Independent You video from Facebook, from YouTube. It's a 4-minute video, really just gives them an interesting look at what we do. And then once they're interested and they're curious, you can then kind of present the business, show them the business in a bit more detail. But once you've sent them the message, not everyone's going to respond, so just a quick follow-up a couple of days later. "Hi Sue, did you think of anybody who might be interested?" You never know, there might be somebody in your very close friends list who's actually interested in earning some extra money, and it just needed you to ask the question. And every day you can add more people to your list. There's use your memory jogger. There's if you go onto Google and just do a search on memory jogger, or speak to your sponsor, there's lists in various training books that we've got where it'll just help you think of different people that you might come across in different parts of your life. But as I say, the best list that I've ever seen are your mobile phone contact list and your Facebook friends list, because you should have plenty of people on there that you can contact. And one of the most important aspects of this is not that you're expecting people to join you straight away on that day, but you're sowing seeds. You're telling them that you've got a really good way for them to earn a bit of extra money, or for anyone they know to earn a bit of extra money. And over the next days and weeks and months, as you start achieving your goals and you're going on your holidays and you're cutting your hours at work and you're spending more time with the family, people will notice that and they'll be saying, "Oh, you're still doing that home shopping thing? Can you tell me a bit more about it now?" Because they are interested in what's going on. They see the change in your lifestyle that this business can present you. So it's really exciting when your people that you know also want to join you. Okay guys, so I'm pretty much finished what I was going to go through. Just quick heads up, couple of questions to make sure you're not all fast asleep. Can you remember at the beginning I said there are 2 different ways to earn money when you first start in Kleeneze? Can you remember what they were? Emma, so saying retail and residual income. Anyone else got any thoughts? Perhaps everyone else has dozed off. Yep. Team building, Emma. That's good. Retail and team building, D. Yeah, very good, guys. Retail and team building. So those are the 2 ways when you first start off to think about to earn money as a distributor. And you can kind of focus on different parts of it. I recommend you do both, but work with your sponsor to see what's most important to you at the time. Now, can you remember the 2 ways that I said if you wanted to earn just an extra £200 a month residual income, what were the 2 ways you could do that? Post more catalogues? Well, in a way, yes, but that wouldn't give you a residual income. You'd obviously be working for that, D. Yeah, Natalie, having 5 people in your team. That's exactly right. Can you remember what the other one was? Emma, 100 grand savings. That's it. So if you had 100 grand in the bank, that would give you £200 a month in residual income and interest, or having 5 team members doing the same as you. Brilliant. Well done, Natalie. Thank you, Emma. And can you remember at the beginning when I talked about setting goals, I said focus on what, not the results. How to achieve it? Yep. Actions. Peter and Myrna, thank you. Very good. Daily tasks, small actions. Fantastic, Natalie. I couldn't have said that better myself. That's exactly right. It's the small actions that you can control that are important, not the big exciting goals. The big exciting goals are what make you do it, but it's actually the tasks, the actions that you can control. Because you can decide whether you go onto Facebook at 9 o'clock at night when you're feeling a bit tired. You can decide whether you put the catalogues out when you've got a hangover the next morning, whatever it might be. So you control those actions, but you can't control the results. Okay guys, so we're pretty much finished what I went over, what I was covering there. So the important things really in your first few weeks are to sit down with your sponsor and work out how to set and achieve your first goals. Have that little checklist that I went through, and I gave you a little introduction to residual income and a bit of an introduction to team building. We cover those in a lot more detail over the next few weeks. And if you want to know more about anything in particular on that, I'm happy to hang around now for 5 or 10 minutes or speak to your sponsor, because they can certainly help you. Next week, we're on to building your customer base. Dave Trowell gave us a fantastic example of that earlier. He said he'd been out, but can't remember exactly what it was, 100, 150 catalogues out, got well over £1,000 worth of orders from what's probably, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 hours worth putting the catalogues out, picking them back up again. So that building your customer base is a really, really useful way to build a steady income from your own retail. Now, I said I was going to record all of these, and I've been recording this one, so bear with me. I'm just